welcome back to Tomi's World. You already know it's your girl Tomi, and I am back with another video. Subscribe. One of the questions that I get the most over in the DMs on Instagram is definitely, how do I choose the best prefecture to live in Japan? And I didn't do a video on this before now because I honestly thought there is no way I can tell every person how they can find the best prefecture to live in, especially because, yes, you guys are my homies, but I honestly don't know you well enough to know what you would love, you know what I mean? So in today's video, I have curated the perfect list with my top 5 best tips to help you guys figure out the best prefecture to live in Japan. You're welcome in advance. But before we get into the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every single interaction that you guys make with this video will definitely help our little channel to grow. Anyway, let's get into the video. So the first tip is definitely, it's all about who you are. When you are deciding which prefecture to live in Japan, you definitely have to think about the type of person that you are, because every prefecture has its own specialty, its own aura, its own vibe. So you have to know what you want and who you are before you can actually choose which prefecture you want to live in. For example, I know that even though I really love seeing the snow, I'm not a fan of like living through snow every single day of winter, because my birthday is January 2nd and I honestly cannot imagine myself trudging through snow on my birthday to go to a restaurant. So because I knew that about myself, I did not choose places like Hokkaido or those places way up there south.
What did he say?
Up south.
Stop it. Get some help.
How do you know? Geography and math, not my subjects. But I didn't choose places like way up in Hokkaido because I knew that I didn't want to be cold all the time. So when you are choosing your prefecture, you first have to think about, who am I? Who am I? What do I want? It's all about you, baby girl. So be selfish about it. And once you figure that out, then it's time for tip number 2. Think about your goals. When you are coming over to Japan, you came over here for a reason. For some of us, like me, it was because we needed to make a little bit of moolah and save some of that money so that we could achieve a few goals, like paying off our student loans, right? And if these goals sound similar to your goals, then you are going to definitely want to stay away from places like Tokyo or Osaka, because even though those cities are 100% amazing, they are super expensive to live in. So you don't want to be somewhere where you have to pay a lot of rent and your expenses are generally just going to be a lot more expensive living in a large city. So when you are choosing your prefecture, you have to keep your goals in mind. If your goal is to save money, try to choose prefectures that are more inaka or rural, so that your living expenses will be less. On the other hand, if you are coming to Japan for the Japan experience, then you might want to live in a big city like Tokyo or Osaka, because then that might give you a little bit of that type of big city life experience, if you know what I mean. But you can still get the Japanese experience living in the Japanese countryside, because I've always thought that if you really wanted to know a country, you want to live like the locals live. And though a lot of people do live in Tokyo, the real locals are in the Japanese Inaka, and that is the hill I will die on. But seriously, when you're coming to Japan, you want to figure out what your goals are and then align those with the prefecture of your choice. You get me? We understanding each other? Okay, good, because now we are moving on to point number 3. think about what you want from the experience. When I was coming over to Japan, one of my main goals was that I wanted to travel a lot, and in order to do that, I needed to live really close to an airport because traveling within Japan is super expensive. So if I'm going to leave from my prefecture to go to another prefecture to go to the airport, that could easily buy another plane ticket. You get what I'm saying? So when I was trying to decide which prefecture I wanted to live in, one of the main things was that I was hoping there would be an airport really close by, which, guys, let me tell you how they played a really nice trick on me. There is an airport nearby, but the airport only flies to Tokyo and Okinawa. So I don't know. But you want to think about what you want from the experience. Do you really want to help kids in the Japanese inakas to learn English? Because if you're being honest, the kids in Tokyo really get a lot more opportunities to interact with foreigners. So they have it a little bit better than kids in the Japanese inaka. So do you really have a passion for helping kids to learn English? Then maybe you should move to the inaka so that you can really help kids who really need help. Is what you want from the experience a chance to meet a husband who is Japanese? Then you probably want to move to a city because there ain't no men out here in the Japanese inaka, girl, I'm telling you. Okay? But you want to think about what you want from the experience and then align that with your prefecture of choice. Where can I go where I'm going to get this? Put your pros and cons list into effect now, okay? And then after you've done that, it's time for point number 4. Research. Yes. After you've figured out who you are, your goals, and what you want from the experience, then it is time to go ahead and do your research. When I'm talking about research, I'm talking about finding the prefectures that are going to align with these goals. So you figured out, hey, I'm bougie. I'm a MF city girl, period. Then you're going to try to find the city places in Japan and apply for those prefectures. For example, you would apply for places like Tokyo, Kyoto, Chiba, and so on. Or you probably figured out, hey, I want to save some money and that's why I'm going on the program. So you would apply for more inaka prefectures like, I don't know, but I know there are some inaka prefectures out there. Or you could decide that you really want the best of both worlds, so you decide to go somewhere suburban and you choose somewhere like Fukuoka or Hiroshima or any one of those prefectures. But in order to find what you really need, you need to do your research, okay? And finally, point number 5. This one is mainly for my jets out there. You don't want to set your heart on the prefecture, right? So even after doing all of those steps, you still don't want to like get your heart set on a particular prefecture because sometimes Jet gives you the exact opposite of what you asked for, even though they told you to give them 3 suggestions of where you want to live. For example, I've heard people say that they chose places like Hokkaido because they like the cold. Then they got placed in places like where I live, where it's much hotter all year round, okay? Personally, I chose all the prefectures around my prefecture and I didn't even know what my prefecture was. I remember when I first heard the news you're going to this prefecture. I was like, what the hell is that? Are they punking me? Did I actually get into Japan? Because this prefecture didn't sound anything like Japan. Normally I would tell you guys which prefecture I live in, but a lot of people actually know my prefecture and my city, and it makes me a little bit uncomfortable because people on the internet be crazy. So I don't really like to talk about that, which is something that I tell you guys a lot when you DM me over on Instagram. I really don't feel comfortable talking about my city, but I think I can tell you my prefectures. So I live in Yamaguchi Prefecture. Yeah, we Gucci over here. Ew, like I heard that as soon as it came out of my mouth. I'm sorry you had to hear that. But those are my 5 tips for choosing the perfect prefecture to live in Japan. Once you follow these tips, you should be able to find a prefecture that suits you best. Because if we're being honest, I honestly cannot tell you choose this prefecture or this prefecture. This one is going to be perfect. This one is not. Because at the end of the day, all the prefectures in Japan have their pros and cons. And it's just about what you want, you know? So I can't tell you to go to this prefecture because what if you don't like those stuff? Or what if you don't like what I like, you know? Don't come to Yamaguchi if you don't like the heat or the beaches. Don't, like, guys, now that I've told you what prefecture I live in, everyone do not try to rush to the Gucci, okay? Like, it ain't for everybody. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys. Mwah.